Goodyear associates have been and always will be the heart, the soul, the inquiring mind, the skilled hands, and the global face of Goodyear. It's an extraordinary heritage of visionary leaders, community servants, dedicated teams, generations of families, innovative thinkers, cultural pioneers, and people who keep the world moving. Goodyear associates, past and present, around the globe, have been the company's source of innovation, inspiration, and integrity, creating a culture of community, spirit, inclusion, and pride.
Goodyear's influence on the community, on the local community, is very important, and it is very positive. It's not just the jobs and the paychecks, it goes well beyond that. It is an ethical company. I have heard employees who told me, I looked through the business conduct manual and that impressed me. This is why I'm working here.
It's a culture that values family, as it has for generations.
I am Michael D. Savula, and I am the fourth generation of Savulas, and I'm a pipe fitter for Goodyear.
And I am Michael H. Savula. I am the fifth generation to work for the company. I'm an electrical engineer.
My grandfather hired in the 20s after World War I, and he was a mold and bench machinist.
My personal friends and even my family members that don't work there, they hear me say great things about it when I come home.
What really is kind of a kick is one Saturday that we'd all been scheduled to work, the maintenance crew, and Michael came in as my boss. So that's kind of an oddity, and I'm gonna now take direction from my son.
I didn't know he was gonna be in that morning, and it just kind of happened, and I was like, oh, well, I'm assigning a job to my father today.
It was a good feeling.
It's a culture of opportunity to grow and to thrive.
My name is Joel Somerville, and I went to Goodyear in April of 1967, and I worked in hospitalization.
My name is Marco Somerville, and I started working on the squad in 1971.
Love Goodyear because it gave us the opportunity to do for our family what we wanted to do, to give our children an education and a better life.
I have so many good recollections of Goodyear and the way they treated us as a family.
When I was making my career choice and even my education choice, believe it or not, I was told I would not be an engineer, which probably gave me motivation to become an engineer. Working at Goodyear has changed dramatically since I first started. Back in the days where there were very few women in engineering, there's now many in the Goodyear workforce. And I want to say my experience at Goodyear was to never hold back. And if there was something you were interested in trying and doing, make that known.
Opportunities for associates to grow and thrive at Goodyear can be found across the globe.
20 anos, entrei na Goodyear como piloto de testes e tive o privilégio de dirigir os mais variados tipos de veículo. Isso me deu a oportunidade de trabalhar com várias montadoras como engenheiro automotivo e coordenador do campo de provas no Brasil.
Goodyear es una compañía que ofrece oportunidades e inspira a todos sus asociados a ser mejores. A nivel regional, fui la primera mujer gerente de análisis de operaciones en Manufactura Latinoamérica y la primera directora de Ingeniería Industrial y Planeación de Instalaciones en la región de Asia.
Goodyear means for me respect, transparency, openness, and inclusion. It's all about people.
It means passion, it means innovation, but most importantly, it means family. We truly work as one team, looking after each other, both personally, professionally, but also looking after our customers.
Goodyear means so much about heritage. It means so much about motorsport for me, to be very transparent, but also when I then had the opportunity later on in my career to join Goodyear, it already held a special place in my heart because it was something that I'd seen, that I'd grown up with, that I'd seen so often on the TV that it just seemed a natural fit.
固特异一直以来非常注重员工能力的提升，它给我提供了英语、质量管理体系、领导力等诸多方面的培训，也给我提供了很多锻炼和成长的机会。
One way Goodyear created opportunities was through the Flying Squadron. Established by Paul Litchfield, this training program gave broad experience to new associates. Members of the squad eventually worked in a variety of positions.
Squad was a way, I think, for Goodyear to attract talent. I mean, they were looking for young people who may be interested in joining the company. And it was kind of like an apprenticeship program in a lot of ways, to provide people with opportunity to see exactly what they were made of.
While the squad opened doors for many associates, others took different paths to a Goodyear career. One of those was Ray Dove.
I knew about Ray Dove because people in the community, people at church, we went to the same church, were saying, oh, Ray Dove had to run the elevator for a long time before he got into research.
Ray Dove was a brilliant student at the University of Akron and would eventually become Goodyear's first Black research scientist. A Goodyear chemist who worked alongside Dove was Kirkwood Cotman.
The people that were hired then as regular chemists went on and, they started getting some respect from the chemical part. Ray Dove was still running the elevator. So when they got their master's degrees, Ray Dove and all of them, those guys went in and said, this is wrong. This guy is smarter than we are. If we have a question, we ask him what the answer is. But he'll never tell us the answer. He'll lead us up to where we can figure it ourselves. I don't think he really thought about being the first Black scientist at Goodyear. You never think about things like that. If you are the first.
Dove's work in research spanned 4 decades and opened the doors of opportunity for generations that followed. When Ray Dove retired in 1986, he left an indelible legacy.
I wanted to do something for him the day he left. I wrote a note to him saying, it was people like you who made it possible for people like me to work in places like this.
Whether their work supports operations and technology, sustainable sourcing, or advanced mobility, the diverse talents, experiences, and cultures of all our associates paved the road to continued success for Goodyear.
We all recognize today that Goodyear is here 125 years later because of those associates that came before us and their contributions. Our associates do so many things so well. If I had, though, to distill it down to one thing, it's a can-do attitude. Goodyear associates always go the extra mile, and that's what has helped us endure for 125 years.